Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. How are you all doing? Hope you're all well. Hey, ViXP. Thank you, ViXP. Hey, Diana. Hey, Jan B. Hey, Ayakame. Hope you're all well. Let me know if sounds okay, video's alright, we're good to go. So just do a quick risk disclaimer. This live market analysis is sponsored by Max Global Markets, a brokerage firm that is registered with and regulated by the Monetary Authority of Singapore, the MAS. Max Global Markets has no control over or influence over the content of this analysis, which is generated by an independent party. Please remember that the information in this analysis is offered solely for educational and informational reasons and does not constitute financial advice. All right. With that out of the way, now if you are joining us for the first time, a big welcome. Thank you for joining me on this daily market analysis. For all the regulars, welcome back. Again, the link is there for you guys if you haven't. I don't think many of you have not joined, but if there's anyone who has not joined, the link is there for the Discord channel. Do click that and join. We are 700 plus members and growing. So look forward to seeing you in the Discord channel. And if at any point in time you have any questions, put it into the chat, let me know. If you have any views about where prices could be heading towards, put it into the chat, let me know. Big shout out, Diana did very well yesterday identifying that the dollar index was going to drop lower than that 106 level. So, do share your views. Let's have some comments, let's have some discussions, we can take it all from there. Okay, and if you can help me out, click that like and subscribe button as you go through this session, just so that we can tweak that algorithm somehow and get more people onto the session. Alrighty, so we had a couple of good trades yesterday. In particular, the ones that I got into was the Aussie dollar, right? The Aussie dollar played out as planned, exactly as planned. We're looking for it to come down to test that support level at 0.62, almost 0.63, 6290, to come down to test this support level. We're looking for that similar bounce, and it did that exactly, right? The only thing is that I actually did put my take profit at 60. Just the last hour, it continued pushing to the upside. It's too late to get into it now. Now the question is, as it approaches that resistance of about 0.64, what's going to happen at that point? Okay, so Aussie dollar did very well there, 60 pips to the upside. Actually now could have gone up to 70, almost 75 pips already, but I caught 60 on that as it bounced off the support and pushed higher. The other one that I got into, thanks for that, Diana. Hey Pips Apprentice, how you doing? Hey Goju, hey Christina. Another one I got into, and I'm very happy with this one, is the pound dollar. All right, pound dollar, very straightforward. This was a very straightforward trade in my view, where we saw that push up. This was where we were right at that point, the 3 o'clock period, right? So we're saying that it just needs to break above this point at 1.2181 or 1.2180 to look for it to trade up. This was a good 90 pips to the upside. I was not particularly concerned at this 50% level, right? Remember that I was saying that the pound dollar could have a hesitation at 1.2220. It came to 1.2220 and it just went straight through it, right? It went straight through it. So at that point, I was just like, yeah, fine. It's most likely going to continue up. It's not likely to hesitate at that point and reverse. It did hold off at 61.8, but that was a bit too late into the night already. I was at break even, leaving it to run to the upside, and then this morning came in and it closed out at my 90 pip take profit there on the pound dollar. So 2 trades for me yesterday. Aussie dollar on 60. I did not move the stop loss on this. I just held it through. And then the pound dollar, I moved the stop loss to break even to run it up to that 90. So I got about 150 something pips to the upside, 150 something pips yesterday. Right? Missed out on a couple of other trades. You can't get into all the trades. You will miss some trades. So like Diana saying, missed out on the pound dollar. You will miss some trades. For example, I think Jan B was telling me, right? US yen breaking that 149.85 level. I was saying, I was looking to sell at that point, and since then, it's dropped from 149.85 and is currently at 149 almost 149.35, right? So a good 50 pip move to the downside on the dollar yen. Did not get into that. I missed that move because I was waiting, right? At that point, I was thinking that it might be a false break and come back in. I was looking for a move like that before that big move to the downside. Did not happen. It just broke and went all the way down and still going down. So that's probably a move missed. Okay, just updating. I probably will have a line about there for something to consider. At about 149.30, which is approaching right now. Red said US Swiss franc active now, order filled. The Swizzy, oh wait, I moved that too, hang on. Okay, the Swizzy is coming close, not yet. Right, it's breaking that level, that support level is coming close, not yet, so we're still going to be looking out for that. Hey Atir, how are you doing? How's Belgium? Okay, so I jumped the gun ahead. I jumped a bit ahead of the gun today just to share with you some of the trades that I got into. Super excited about those trades. The Aussie and the pound dollar, and also missing out on the US yen. All right. Do you do alert when price reach your entry point? No, I don't actually. I do tend to sit there and watch. So sometimes if it just breaks past and I'm not watching, that's one of the scenarios where I'll miss a trade. I don't set alerts just because sometimes when I set an alert, or previously when I used to set an alert, I'll get the alert. I might not be in the right mindset to get into a trade. So when I set alert, I see the alert, I go, oh, sell, or oh, buy, and then it might have just spiked out. Something else could have happened. So because of that, I don't set the alerts as much. I'll just sit there and I'll watch. I might set alert if I'm, for example, right now, right, or not right now, like after this session, if I see any levels, I'll set alert. I'll be working on something here on my other screen, then the alert pops up, I'll come back and I'll check. But I won't set an alert and then go do something else outside of the office. Become interesting for a few days, it will. Like I was telling you all yesterday, it's going to become more interesting over the next couple of days. Hey Desiree, how are you doing? White Clint, good to see you. How are you doing? How long do you sit? How long do you sit to wait for? I'm here. I guess you guys know, right? I'm here all the time. I'm pretty much always in front of a screen. In the office, 9 to 6 or 7 o'clock. Then head home, have a meal, and then I'm back to the screens again. I'm just watching. So I'm 100% full time on trades. So I'm watching it almost all the time. Okay. Now getting back to the sequence, looking at Forex Factory when I'm checking on the news. What we just had at 2 p.m. today, 2 p.m. GMT plus 8, was the UK claimant count claimant count change number. Claimant count change is the number of people claiming for unemployment benefits, right? Unemployment related benefits. So the bigger the number is actually not a good thing, because that's telling you that more people, 20.4k, almost 10 times more than the forecast, are claiming for unemployment benefits. But unemployment rate is dropping, or has dropped, from 4.3 to 4.2%, right? And because of that, what we actually saw on the pound dollar, right, at 2 o'clock was a brief move to the downside, but it pushed up. Why it's pushing up is really because of the dollar index still trading to the downside. Okay, so despite the news, we are still seeing it push up because overall dollar index is still weaker. Hey Nancy from Maryland, how are you doing? Hey Mady, good morning. Kiwi dollar, yeah, we'll have a look at that shortly. Okay, and now in 3 minutes plus, we do have the French manufacturing and services PMI to be released. 44.2, 44.4, 44.4, 44.9. We're not expecting a big change here, and it might look like continued slowdown for the PMI numbers. Might be looking at red numbers here. With the PMI data, it does have some influence. You might see a brief move to the downside before a push back up again, right? Because of that dollar weakness. We must remember that the overall bias is still dollar weakness. So there are, despite the euro being maybe weaker with the PMI numbers, we might still see it push back up because of that dollar. Okay, so we have German services and manufacturing PMI to be released as well. Looking like a slowdown, might even out. I would see that these two news could cause some volatility on the price, but I don't see it changing the current trend, right? Which means that we're likely to see the euro dollar continue to the upside. At 4 o'clock, we have Governor Bullock speaking at the Commonwealth Bank of Australia's Global Markets Conference in Sydney. Unlikely that it's going to do too much. Eurozone with the manufacturing services PMI. Again, not going to do too much. Pound. If it does come out a little bit, if it comes out like that, or a little bit better, we might see it push up again. But overall, you do have to remember, again, sounding like a broken record, but the dollar index is now showing that weakness. And then also the flash manufacturing PMI and flash services PMI for the US at 9:45 p.m. GMT plus 8. That we could see this. Oh wow, look at that. 49.8 to 49.5, 50.1 to 49.9, and it's been slowing down over the last 3 months. Right, it's been slowing down. This is a bit mixed, but services has been slowing down for the last 3 months. So it looks like if we do see a negative, a below 50 number here, 49 point something number here tonight for manufacturing and services PMI, we might see further downside on the dollar. Okay, something to think about. And then early tomorrow morning, we have the Aussies with the CPI data year on year, 5.2, 5.3, quarter on quarter, 0.8. 1.1. Looks like we might see a brief push on the Aussie dollar at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. Okay, so now we've got, I'm not too, look at that. Right, so this just got released 42.6, 46, a bit very surprising. Services PMI at 46.1. So a bit of a mixed bag here, but what you see on the euro dollar, right, was pushing up, it's come back down a little bit. I think that it might track back down a little bit more. That's what's happening, right? Track back down a little bit more, but we do have a level at about 1.0670, right? That's a line in the sand. If we do have the German numbers to be released in another 15 minutes. So I think it's going to sit there. We'll see the German number maybe push down a little bit before maybe pushing back up again. We'll look into that in a little bit more detail. Okay, so now looking at the dollar index, right? We were saying that likely to range between 106 to 106.70, reject 106.40 to down to 106. So it didn't even come close. It just, we saw that as it happened. It went down. Oops. Do that. Okay. So it broke below 106. So we can take that one away and that one away. Right, broke below that 106 level. We'll take that away for now. And then came down to this support level that we see since the 29th of September. Again on the 11th of October and around to the 12th of October where it's been bouncing off. Right, where it's been bouncing off. It's broken that support level. So that is now a resistance. And it's approaching this next support level here at 105.30. Right, this level here was from the 22nd of September at 105.30. So that's what we see here on the dollar. Question being now is that if it breaks this support, I see a bit of a retrace happening. I see a bit of a retrace happening before a continuation with the next level down here at 104 almost 104.70. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Checking this level here, we have 23.6 is right there. Okay, so what looks like it could happen is that maybe some bad news or some not so good news on the French, German PMI numbers and the Eurozone PMI numbers could cause a bit of a retrace on the dollar. I'm just wondering, I'm just thinking whether it's going to retrace back up like that before coming back down again. Right, but generally what we're looking at here on the dollar is potentially further downside. with that being a resistance. Okay, so what happens here is today being the 24th, we're looking for the dollar to break 105.30 support, to continue lower with 104.70 support next. That's a big move. That's a relatively big move. So this was yesterday through to today. Just thinking that, yeah, that although that's a big move, that's still quite possible. We saw that happen yesterday. Daily time frame, dollar index will go to the fair value gap around 105.30. Let's have a look at that. Ooh, wait. It's almost there. It's just right at that point. I feel yeah, I see what you're talking about there. Well, I actually liken it to come around there, around that 105 level. Right, as much as we have our level here, I think that it's coming very close to 105.30 already. I think that it could actually come down towards 105, 104.90. 104.70 might be a bit of a stretch. But I see what you're pointing out, Diana. So I'm actually looking at this point, about this point here. Right, so I'm thinking that, yeah, this is 105.30, which is the support, which we see this points here. I think that that's going to be a bounce, right? There's going to be a bit of a bounce. If this resistance hold around this 23.6 level, then we're going to see it turn back down. I don't think as much. I think it's going to come back down to about that point. So 104.90, 105 to 104.90. Okay. I lost my yellow box. Here we are. Okay. I'll change that to say 105 to 104.90. Okay. So it might bounce a little bit, but we look for it to break 105.30, like the fair value gap Diana was looking at, and then after that might bounce a little bit but push down towards 105 and 104.90. Right, I think that the majority of this move, I think that it might consolidate or retrace a little bit now. I think the majority of this move is going to come later tonight, with especially if the manufacturing and the services PMI comes out in that low 49 number. Right, if it comes out in that low 49 number, then we'll probably see that push the dollar index lower towards 105. Okay, so with that, then looking at the Kiwi dollar, we were looking for it to break down as a scenario if we see that dollar strength come back into play. That didn't happen, take that away, but I think maybe took the Kiwi dollar back to the upside as it bounced off the support. Now, what you could even do, I'll leave it there, okay. So now that's a resistance turned support level. We take that away because that's broken. That's done. I'll remove that line for now, and I'll just keep it more to the relevant levels, which is right there. Okay, so it's a resistance turned support that's breaking. Skewed double bottom, we'll see that as the next level to the upside. So what you could anticipate here is a brief retrace, because we're expecting maybe the dollar to retrace a little bit before maybe pushing back down. So a brief retrace before bouncing off that support. 5865. Stop loss 20 pips. Take profit 60 pips to the upside. Alright, is it worth looking to try and sell it down? Stop loss 20, take profit. No, I wouldn't. It could drop back down, but I wouldn't be looking to sell it back down. I'll be looking for this move back up, right? A test and a bounce of the support. So 5865, 20 pips to 60 pips for the Kiwi dollar. Take profit 60. There we have it. Yeah, look at it. It looks like it's trying to bounce a little bit right now. Okay, then on to Aussie. Right? So Aussie, that move was done, good 60 pips. Let me know if you caught that. Now we can take that away as well. As bounced off. You see that it's bounced off this support, forming a double bottom, pushing up, approaching that resistance level that we're looking for at this point. Right, so we're going to see what happens to the Aussie as it comes to that 0.64 resistance level. Yesterday, we were looking at the Kiwi in the scenario that the dollar gets stronger, we're looking to sell it down, right? And then we were thinking, okay, if the dollar doesn't get stronger, it gets weaker, we'll buy the Aussie up, which we did. Now, we're looking at the Kiwi dollar. If the dollar continues to weaken, it'll bounce off this point towards that resistance. I'll give you the scenario where maybe if the dollar continues or recovers in strength, right? So right now you see it bouncing back up. What if it comes all the way back up, breaks above that resistance and continues to the upside? Then maybe we can be looking to sell on the Aussie. Okay, we could be looking to sell on the Aussie, but I want to see it test. I want to see it come up a little bit more and test to do that. Also remembering that tomorrow morning we do have the CPI data to be released, and it looks like slight inflation growth for the Aussies, which could spur another move or more hawkishness to come from the RBA. So, hey PM, hey Jamil, how you doing? What I'm looking for, I want to look for it to test this, but I don't see why it would move up a little bit more. But let's look for that. Okay, let's look for 6385. Stop loss, no more than 20 pips. Take profit, could go down to that 90 pips to the downside. So we're looking for it to push up a little bit more, test that resistance, reject that resistance, and sell down. So 6385.20 to 90. This is on a dollar strength scenario. So we have both scenarios there. Sell 0.6385, stop loss 20, take profit 90 to the downside. Right, we're balancing between either the Kiwi dollar or the Aussie dollar, depending on how this fella behaves. Right now it's pushing up, it's coming close to my 23.6, and that's why you're seeing the Aussie dollar sit right there. You're seeing the Kiwi dollar push down a little bit. We're wondering, or we're waiting to see whether it's going to hit and reverse from here. Alright, it's came down and it's got to 360, didn't get to 30 yet. So we're still looking at this range. Then on to yen. Alright, came right down. I was looking at this level here. And it came to this point before bouncing back up. You also see that it's probably bouncing back up because it was outside of that Bollinger Band within that hour, so it's tracing back up again. I did miss that move to the downside there on the US yen. I'm thinking that dollar strength might push this back up, pushing this back up. If you see that continued dollar weakness, okay, I'll be very cautious. Okay, for the risk takers, you could be looking to buy this back up, but I'll be very cautious on that. I would say that if we see further dollar weakness, 149 dot, it feels overextended. It feels like it's slightly overextended. And it feels like it could bounce. Alright, take that one away. And it's bouncing off this level. Yeah, I think that it's more for the more aggressive traders. Now, if you had a profit margin to risk, then maybe above 149.60, you could take it back. It's not worth the risk. It's not worth the risk. You're only looking at a 40 pip move to the upper side. Right, your stop loss, it has to be at least 30 pips. Even if I squeeze it down to 149.50, it could happen, but it's not worth that bounce. Alright, I would say that if you really wanted to on the dollar yen, look for it to break below. So 149.20, stop loss 20 pips, take profit 45 pips, just to that tail. Then maybe you can be looking for further downside as well. Let's have that. Let's put that as a possibility. 149.20, 20 to 45. Right, but you do have to remember that it's moved quite a bit already. Right, so we could look to sell 149.20. stop loss 20, was it 20? 20 to 45. Take profit 45. There we have it. I think, yeah, it looks like, look at that. It's retraced, it's hit the 23.6. If it fails to continue, it could push back down. Hey FX White, thanks for that. How are you doing? Okay, so that's done. We'll look for that continuation to the downside with that level close as a level. Then onto the pound, dollar, right? Broke above that resistance. This is done, take that away. That's done, that's done. Broke above that resistance, retrace right back down because of what we're seeing on the dollar index right now. The question will be, hey L map 61, how are you doing? We have that, we have this point here. We'll be continuing the trend. We have an interim level here, not very far away, and a big resistance. Well, you could maybe, very similar to the Aussie, right? Aussie is already forming that. Might be missing the move on the Aussie, but what we could be looking for here on the pound dollar, maybe if the dollar recovery in the dollar comes back into play, 1.2240, just below the 23.6 level. Stop loss was quite wide. I would go a little bit, I'll take a little bit of risk here. I say 1.2255, 30 pip stop. You could go down to that 50% level of 60. You could even go as close to 80 pips there, to 61.8. So we're looking at maybe a recovery on the dollar back up, pulling the pound dollar back down. So 1.2255, stop loss 30, take profit 80. There we go. Where is it? So 1.2255, stop loss 30, take profit 80. Okay. Or I could just retrace a bit before pushing back up, but I feel that if you look at this, there's only about a 40 pip move to the upside. Stop loss could be about 20 pips. That could be a move, but probably not something I'll be looking for. Jamil said a divergence. Then, are you talking about that one, like that? I think that's a divergence. I'm terrible with divergence, by the way. Are you talking about that one? That might show that push back down. That's fair, I guess. Yeah, so we might see that come back down a bit. Okay, I've done that one. We keep that. Euro dollar, yeah, sell. It looks like more likely a sell on the pound dollar, right? Which would mean that we might see the dollar index push back up quite a bit more. Okay, euro dollar, like I was saying, based on the PMI numbers that we were looking out for, so far manufacturing has held its ground, services PMI has lost some ground. With that, we're seeing this push down. Let me have a look. That trend line is broken. I would say that we're already taking the idea that the pound dollar might bounce off, might turn down, right? Might turn down from there. So I'm looking at this euro dollar now and I'm thinking, could it come down, bounce off this level and push back up? Right, so do something like this on the dollar weakness scenario, where we could be looking to buy at 1.0655, relatively tight stop at 20 pips, take profit, good, almost 80 pips to the upside. So we're looking for that to bounce off. Right, so we have dollar strength scenario, dollar weakness scenario, dollar strength, dollar weakness on the pairs. So I think that covers our bases. What a rally on EU. If anyone got into it, well done. Yeah, I know. Anyone got into that? Put it into the chat, let me know. On the euro dollar. Put it into the chat, let me know. So that's pushing, we'd look for that, okay? 1.0655, 20 to 80. 1.0655, 20 to 80 pips. I believe gold will go down to 1963 level because it was gone upward too much. Might be selling, yep. Lingopedia. Looking at the way the dollar is bouncing, we might do a revision of the analysis. But yeah, it does look like we're set up. We've got dollar weakness scenario, dollar strength scenario, dollar weakness scenario, dollar strength, dollar weak, and then onto the US Swiss franc, bouncing off that support level. We'll keep this going down here. It could come up to this point and turn back down. Strong support at 8.9. No worries, Pips Apprentice, we'll be here. What I might want to see here on, you see that almost looked like a, I just get lucky sometimes, Jamil, I just get lucky. Shoulder, head, and shoulder with that neckline there. Right, but it almost broke that neckline before bouncing back up. Maybe what we could see is a test again and then that break to the downside. So a bit of an extended head and shoulder, with this being the neckline at 0.89. What we, dollar weakness scenario again. It's pushing up quite strongly, but I don't feel like we should be buying up on the Swizzy. So maybe what you could be looking out for here is 8930 stop loss, 20 pips, take profit, 30. I don't think it's going to do that. Okay, do nothing on the, it's undecided. Do nothing on the US Swiss franc. What I think is going to happen is that it needs to come back up, right? It needs to come back up to around this point. might test and reverse or break through, but I think that we have a lot of other opportunities on the other pairs. Not worth trying to squeeze something out on this. Maybe I'm slightly biased against the US Swiss franc, but trade what you prefer, trade what you're familiar with. Okay, US CAD, the Ludi yesterday did exactly double top formation. I think I posted that in the group as it was happening. Formed a double top, came down, broke just below that support, and then now pushing back up because of that strength. What you would be looking out for here is it to break to the upside. Dollar strength scenario 1.37, stop loss 20 pips, take profit 35 to the upside. I'm looking at this pushing higher. No Canadian news, well, no major Canadian news. Dollar strength scenario pushing this back up. Okay, so 1.37, 20 to 35. Not a fantastic trade, I would say, for this one. All right, we're looking to buy 1.37, stop loss 20. Yep, 20 and 35. 35. Alrighty. There we go. Sweezy was to nothing. Desiree says my eyes are getting sharper, spotting head and shoulders with my analysis. Good. At least you're getting some. We're all improving together. Monsieur Delarose, good morning. How are you doing? Wishing you a profitable day ahead as well. Am I waiting for all news to clear before placing any live trades? So with these news today, I would wait for it to clear, see any fluctuations that's happening before jumping in. So yes, I'll be waiting for this news. I'll be waiting to clear. If there are big major news, then I'll be trading during the news. And when will this analysis be posted to TradingView? Generally, right after I end the session, I will copy this and post it up onto TradingView. I don't post the individual pairs. That's a bit too much work for me. I'm lazy. So I will post this summary sheet up generally straight away after, but sometimes I tend to get distracted and go do something else. So as soon as I can, all right? No promises on timing there. Dinah is asking, why is the dollar index pushing up? I think before the news and after will dump. It does look like it. One is it could be a grab liquidity, pushing back up, pump, and then dump back down. But you see that since yesterday, or since Thursday last week, since yesterday, it's been pushing down with no reasonable retrace. Right, no reasonable retrace. This looks like a bit of a retracement. So long as it stays below 105.73 or 75, I think that the downtrend is still going to continue. It looks like a retracement before a continuation back down. Okay, and then with all that, checking out gold consolidating. So yesterday we were saying that needs to break 1981 to climb to 1996, but it didn't do that. Right, yesterday it sat there, right? This was where we were yesterday, right? It sat there just at 1981, failed to break strongly above, and then came back down to test the support again. So I would maintain that view. And in fact, So why we had 1971 was because of that 50% retracement level, fib retracement level. We can take that away, borrow that line right across here, and that's why we have that point there. Okay, so at that point it looks like it's consolidating. If that pushes up, we're going to see gold drop back down. If that continues lower, and the thing is, you can see, right, yesterday at 10, let me see what's this, metals rise as dollar weakens, just as about to say that, right? Yesterday at 10, the dollar was weakening. At 10, the dollar was weakening, but yet on gold at 10 p.m. yesterday, we did not see too much happening on gold. In fact, it sat in that consolidation, continued to sit in that consolidation. So, again, this is a bit of a reminder that the correlations don't always work out. It's not a direct correlation. So at this point now, what I'm looking out for is a consolidation here. I'm just trying to think, is it going to consolidate and break out down, or consolidate and break up? Dollar, you see, it doesn't really like it, that 23.6. That's 8 more minutes to the hour close. Pushing up, pushing down. Okay, I think what's going to happen here on gold is that it's likely to bounce around, but we'll look for that break to the upside. It's just continuing on with trend. I would like to say that it's going to come down. I would love to say that it's going to come down and we could sell it down quite easily. But based on the trend, it looks like it should be pushing up, breaking to the upside. I've actually spoken with people in the gold industry who really looked at this, who was at that point and said that's high for the quarter, it's not going to break higher. But the way we look at it, all right, the way I'm looking at it, I think it could test one more time. Well, it's just going to sit there. It could test one more time before a big retrace. But for now, I would say that same thing. I'll maintain the same view, 1981 before 1992. I wouldn't even go as far as 1996 in this case. Let's say 1992. Alrighty. My bias on pound is to long. Okay, let me have a look at that. Bias on pound long from 1.2185. Oh wait, it's here. 1.2185. Yep, I see that. It's about there. I think that's fair, Dinah. So Dinah is saying that bias is to long from 1.2185, which is about there. Yeah, stop loss could be quite tight, 20 pips, back up 80 or more. Yep, I can see that. Yeah. Maybe 1.2190 might be a reasonable level as well. Just a small 5 pip difference. Okay, yeah, but I see where you're going with that, Dinah. Good stuff. Monsieur Delarose, I see a double bottom on my charts and believe an upward test again in the near short term on gold. Gold double bottom, maybe not so clear, not very clear on the double bottom. I'm not ruling out why I was very hesitant on the on gold is because it can do that, right? It could very well break that level, or rather break this level at 1966 and head downwards towards 1952. But I wouldn't be very happy to try and sell or to buy or to sell down to this level just because of the way it's been pushing up. All right, so because of that, if it does drop, I'll sit there, wait for it to drop and look for the bounce. But if it stays within this range, then I'll look for it to break out of 1981 to trade up to 1992. All right, demand area can buy, but with confirmation. Yeah. Alrighty, you're most welcome there, Koju. With that said, the link again for the Discord channel if you haven't joined already, and then I'll see you on Discord. If not, I'll see you all tomorrow, 3 p.m. GMT +8, same time, same place. Take care now. Trade well. Bye-bye.